I'm going to attempt reanimating my first ever animation 2 years later. Over 25 action-heavy cuts, 1,000 frames, along with lots, and I mean lots of impact frames. And I'm going to take you through the entire process of how I turned this old animation into this, completely by myself. But before I even get started with an animation that could take me a month, or even longer to complete, I have to first storyboard each individual scene to make sure my animation has a consistent flow and follows the story. So it's time to get to work. Scene 1 starts with our water guy summoning a staff out of nowhere, immediately followed by our fire guy igniting his hands into flames getting ready to attack. Scene 2 is a close-up of both the characters as they begin their pursuit towards each other, followed by a massive clash between them. Then scene 3, Water turns his hair into water jets, and then is also followed by a reaction shot of Fire, who's about to get... Yeah, this is getting boring pretty quick, so let's get started on the animation. But before we do, I want to clarify that this was definitely not an easy process, so stay tuned for that, along with the final animation at the end of the video. And trust me, you do not want to miss it. Now, it's time to lock in. Jumping immediately into the first cut, I animated our water guy summoning a staff, which definitely did not come without its challenges. What is that? I actually don't know what to do. I originally planned on having him summon a spear, but for the life of me I just couldn't get the perspective to work. I looked at various reference photos, but for some reason I just couldn't draw it. So I completely scrapped the idea and gave him the staff instead. But I still had the entire animation to redo, since I scrapped that too. Okay, so I finally completed the cut. One day later.
Now, I'm really mad.
Compared to my first attempt, I think this is way better. But since I have about 24 more cuts to complete, I have to move on fast so I can complete the rest of the animation. Moving on to cut number 2, I want to have our fire guy clench his fist and have it ignite into flames.
This is easy to require a lot of dynamic perspectives, along with hand drawing. I'm not good at it. So I'll spend a long time working on this animation, and a lot of it will be spent on the horrible fire animation. I'm going to show you the entire process of fire creating this along with an extra long voice line. I'm going to speed up.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you listen to all that. So bang! Here's the second cut in all of its glory. Surprisingly, this cut only took me around 40 minutes to make, so we're making pretty good time on this. But since I don't want this video to be an hour long, we're going to have to move on to cut number 3. So for this cut, I want to have our character ease back, then dramatically swing the staff towards the camera right before catching it. But I want this to look ultra smooth. So to make this happen, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time to make sure... Yeah, this doesn't look right. So I decided to film a reference of myself doing the movement to make the process easier. And trust me, that was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I completed that cut literally just 30 minutes later. Going into this cut, where is it? Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to not film the first half of the cut and only film the last 20 minutes. So I'm just not going to show it. But with that, scene 1 has been completed. And we only have 9 more to go. And I just want to reiterate that this animation is over a minute long. It's a month in Animator time. So make sure you stay tuned for the progress of how I turn this trash animation into my best animation, as well as the final product at the end of the video. The next scene is just a close-up of both the characters, so I was able to knock it out pretty fast. But the next scene wasn't so easy, since it tackles something I hardly ever draw: running sequences. I intended for the scene to have a split POV of both the characters as they run up to each other and prepare to attack. I thought this cut was going to take much longer, but with the use of heavy smears, I didn't actually have to animate a run cycle. That was only the third scene. With an overwhelming 6 more to go, I don't want to bore you with the last 30 minutes of animation, so we're going to skip right to the last cut. Before we continue, if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you like and subscribe and comment what kind of videos you want to see in the future. These videos take a long time to animate and edit, so just by supporting, you're helping out the channel and my rapidly decreasing sanity. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. It was around this point in my animation where I'd completely lost my motivation to continue animating. Well, at least for this project. For the last month, I'd been non-stop animating, this one fight scene, besides the other few mini animations here and there. And so the burnout hit me like a brick wall, and for days I tried over and over to get these last few cuts to look good, but I'd scrapped all of them, since I couldn't make anything worth presenting, at least in my eyes. So I thought the only way to fix this issue would be to take a few days off. After 3 days of resting, hanging out with friends, and actually going outside, I finally felt better about completing this animation. The positive comments on my videos on both TikTok and YouTube gave me that last little push to actually complete this animation. Now that I took that rest, I knew that I had to work extra hard these next few days to complete the final cuts. So I got to work.
Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield. But does that mean our lives are meaningless? Does that mean that there was no point in our being
I
born?
am the Flame Hashira, Kyojuro Rengoku!
If you
Ninth
are feeling
form!
disheartened, you
Rengoku!
are somehow not enough.
Set your heart ablaze.
My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream!
Overcome your limits.
My soldiers rage!
After a month of non-stop animation, blood, sweat, and tears, I'd finally completed what I'm proud to call my best animation yet. With over 1,000 frames of fluid animation and a minute's worth of content, I present to you